What's up, guys, and welcome back to the Realistic Rumor of Wrexham. This is episode number 69, and hopefully not the final episode of the season. We've got 3 games left to go of the regular season, and we hope that we can make the playoffs and that there will be one more game in season 4. But as we look at some of the players we brought in off the free agency market, yeah, if you haven't seen episode 68, make sure you go and watch it because it was by far and away the craziest episode we've had, the most demoralizing episode we had, as you can see, and yourself's comments there saying if this does end up being our last episode of the season and we don't get promoted, we will have to sell a bunch of players in the team for realism because so many players like Devine, Regier, Vata, Bennett are all such high-rated young players now that it wouldn't make sense for them to stay in the championship. So as much as that breaks my heart to admit, that is right, and yourself he's spot on, right? So if we do not make the playoffs, or if we don't get promoted this season, we will have to sell some of our best players, which is going to set us back. But yeah, going back to episode 68, if you haven't seen it, go and watch it because it's a tough one. We lost Lowry and Mullen for the rest of the season. They joined Chambers and Vata on the injury list. As you can see, Wall Smallbone going down there. Oh god, it is an injury crisis, people. With those injuries, we went to the transfer market, the free agency market, should I say, because we had to pick up some players on a free. We signed Lewis Dobbin, Keshi Anderson, a couple of decent wingers, especially Dobbin, who actually surprised me. You know, he's 70 rated. He's still young. He's only 24, and he was all right for us in the couple games he played. And then we also picked up Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, the 37-year-old Gabon international, played for the likes of Dortmund, Marseille, Arsenal, Chelsea, now repping Wrexham in a red and white shirt in the north of Wales. It was, it was an absolute rollercoaster. We also lost Jacob Greaves to a 3-match suspension because he got a straight red card, wrongfully so. And there was also late drama as well, conceding late goals to Luton after Aubameyang should have had a hat-trick. He had a goal cleared off the line in injury time when we were 2-1 up, or was it 3-2 up? And then Luton went down the other end and equalised through Ross Barkley. Just an absolute chaotic episode. And those results meant that we only have 1 win in our last 5, and we've lost 4 of our last 7. So we're tumbling here. You know, we are still in a playoff spot, but we are tumbling right now. And with 3 games to go, we need every point. And in this game here, you can see, well, as we're in injury time, Sam Johnston comes up with a huge save, and then Kwanzaa somehow gets in a tackle in what was the last kick of the game, practically the last kick of the game against Watford. This was a massive game. Watford was 6th. We are 4th. We're level on points with them with 3 games to go. This game was massive and we could not lose it. We forced Watford's keeper into a couple of good saves, but that Sam Johnston save right at the end could be vital. Yeah, we drew 3-3 with Watford back in October, but they won 3 of the last 4, and they're in really good form right now. So I'll take a point off Watford. You know, it's not a bad result. As we can see there, though, the injuries keep racking up. Will Smallbone done for the season. Yet another broken toe injury. I hope FC are going to introduce some different injuries in FC25 because I just feel like all my players, when they get injured, are getting broken toes, and it's kind of demoralising. I can't lie. But after that result, it is 1 win in the last 6 as we are crawling over the finish line here. In 4th right now 4 points behind Norwich, level on points with Watford and Luton, and just 1 point ahead of Sunderland and Blackburn. This is ridiculously tight going into the final 2 games of the season. Leicester are essentially promoted, so it'll be them and Leeds going up. I mean, this is crazy. 1 point separating 5 teams now. 5 teams fighting for 3 places. Oh, God, this is crucial. 2 games to go, 5 teams fighting for 3 spots. Can we do it? Can we secure a playoff spot? Or is this going to be the final episode of Season 4 with Wrexham? I really, really hope not. Well, the second game of the episode would see us head to Stoke, what was known as the Bet365 Stadium, the Britannia. Head into Stoke now. Stoke, I believe they're mid-table. Yeah, 13th mid-table, nothing to play for, just like us last season. But sometimes those teams are dangerous to play because they play with a lot more freedom because they're not fighting for anything. They've won their last 2 as well, and we've drawn our last 2, and we did draw with Stoke at home back in November. We made one change to the team. Milner in for the injured Smallbone. I mean, losing Smallbone was just a killer, but we would be off to the perfect start. 7 minutes in, and Jarrell Quansah, the guy's finding his scoring form. Third episode in a row for with a goal for the defender. Perfect start. Another assist for Alfie Devine, and he would make it 2 assists in the first 15 minutes as Jewison Bennett would drive into the box and smash this one home to silence the home crowd. This is exactly what we needed. After that draw with Watford, we have 2 games to go, 2 big games. We had to collect 6 points to know that our fate is in our own hands, and to lead 2-0 early doors was very, very good. The game then hit quite a lull, and it was quite quiet, and then we got into the second half. Lewis Dobbin and Evans came on, and Dobbin actually goes up top. We put him up top for Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, and he grabs our third goal to seal the game late on. 87th minute, he goes and celebrates with those away fans. His first goal for the club in 5 games, and that goes along with 2 assists in 5 games. So not a bad... Dobbin actually could be a decent pickup off the free agency market, a good squad player. Evans picked up the assist as well, which is class. The 2 subs getting involved, but that was perfect from us. Second to last game of the season, picking up 3 points at Stoke, a 3-0 win. Quansah, Bennett giving us early comfort, and then Dobbin wrapping up the points. First win in 5, and our fate is in our hands now. We have one more game, and we are there. We're in the playoffs. And the thing is, in my head, I'm talking like if we get it, then we're promoted. We still have potentially 3 games in the playoffs, and it's not going to be easy. The teams that we could potentially face in the playoffs, we have mixed records with. As we look at the table here, Leicester are now confirmed to be promoted. Luton and Sunderland both drew, whilst ourselves, Watford and Blackburn all won. So going into the final game, we know a win will keep us in the playoffs, and that will secure our playoff position. Watford v Luton as well in the last game of the season is absolutely massive. Looking at the bottom of the table going into the final game, Derby and Charlton are already down. Barnsley and Birmingham is between those two. Barnsley have to win their final game, and Birmingham have to lose it for Barnsley to leapfrog them. They do have better goal difference, so it is possible, but it is a big ask. This is going to be a huge final game of the season, but as you can see, some positive news. Finally, Luke Chambers is back and available in the team, and now I've got a bit of a decision to make. Does Luke Chambers come straight back into the team? Because Josh Earl actually debuted at left back quite well. I know obviously we didn't win every game, but he was decent. So do you know what? I'm actually going to keep Earl in the left back spot. I think he's earned it for now. We're going to keep Earl at left back. And also, massive news, Jacob Greaves is back. So that's huge, because we were playing Earl at left back when Chambers got injured. And then when Greaves got suspended, Earl went to centre back. Mendy was playing left back. But now we're back to Earl, Greaves, Quansah, Regier. Going into the final game of the season, the final game of the regular season. Hopefully, it's not the final game of our 4th season with Wrexham. And what a game as well to secure playoffs. A local derby, Cardiff at the Racecourse Ground. Cardiff 19th, they're unfortunately safe. It would have been class to relegate them in a Welsh derby on the final day. That would have been unbelievable. But unfortunately, they are safe. And as you can see in the top right there, Blackburn taking an early lead, which puts the pressure on us. Cardiff going into this one actually hot in form. The reason they are safe is because they've won. They won their last game, which ended a run of 4 straight defeats, and the visitors would take an early lead here. 16 minutes in, the away fans are cheering, and we are 1-0 down. And I think as it stands, we are falling out of the playoffs. Now, when we played Cardiff back in November, it was a turning point in our season, if you'll remember. We went 1-0 down to Cardiff. We came back at half-time. We were 1-0 down. Turned it around, won 5-1. Paul Mullin grabbed the hat-trick, and that was our turning point of the season. I think we then went on a 10-game unbeaten run, and it really gave us the backbone to push on and hopefully achieve playoffs. So we're hoping for a similar result here, as we went 1-0 down. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, that man again. 5th goal in 6 for the little P. Not little P, that's Chicharito, isn't it? That's Hernandez, the old Man United Mexican striker. I guess people call him P because his initials are PEA. But Aubameyang gets us a level. 5th goal and 6 for him. When we signed him, we said, look, Aubameyang, if you can get 5 goals in these last 6 games, that will be a success. He has got 5 goals. And then, of course, the man of the moment, Alfie Devine, always delivering, puts it top bins to give us a 2-1 lead. 2 goals in 10 minutes, and 2 goals in 15 minutes, and we've turned it around. Mate having actually a decent chance just before we went ahead. He put a shot wide, and then on the stroke of half-time, Aubameyang yet again. PEA, what a man. Putting this one top bins, weak foot in injury time in the first half to give us a 2-goal cushion. And all of a sudden, it feels like our fate again is back in our hands, and it feels like we're going to be in this postseason. Cross comes in from Yuri, and Aubameyang has his hat-trick. Second game this season we've played Cardiff. Second time our striker has got a hat-trick. First it was Paul Mullin, now it is Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. Honestly, when Mullin went down and got injured and was out for the season, I thought, do you know what, we might be done here, because any other player I can afford to lose, but Mullin is our bags man. But Aubameyang, we turned to him. He was a free agent, 37 years old, considering retirement. We've brought him into the team, and what a fairy tale story it is. He grabs a hat-trick, and we lead 4-1 against our rivals, and we are surely going to be making the post-season now. 7 in 6 for Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. Regier with his 14th assist of the season. That is fantastic to see. And with 20 minutes to go, we sub off some of our key players because we know that the playoffs are going to be just around the corner, and with a 4-1 lead, we want to make sure our players are as fit as possible because, as you know, we do not have the depth in the team. And then, well, after Cardiff made it 4-2, I think it was Mate that grabbed the goal. Lee got an injury, and then, yeah, guys, come on, let's just calm down. Keshi Anderson also picking up an injury. Both players... Oh man, both players picking up injuries. That is just our luck right now. And then, ironically, Elliot Lee almost actually bangs it in. If that had gone in, that would have been about the 4th or 5th time a player has got injured for us, but then scored. It's just a weird habit, a weird coincidence that happens. But yeah, the Cardiff keeper sends the goal kick up. The referee blows full time, and that is it on the regular season. We do the double over Cardiff. We put 9 goals past them. We win 4-2. And we secure a playoff position. Playoffs again for the 3rd time in 4 seasons. We have a 100% record so far in the playoffs in terms of getting promoted. But something tells me this is going to be the toughest postseason yet. We dispatch our rivals and complete a very similar double over them, going 1-0 down before rallying back to thump them and secure bragging rights in Wales. What an end to the season here. As you can see the match ratings, Aubameyang collecting the match ball. He gets 3 goals. Assists for Bennett, Vata, Milner and Regier. Yuri Regier, 14 assists this season. What a man. What a man. And stick around because we are going to be doing the player award results as well. So make sure you're sticking around because you guys voted in the comments over the last couple of episodes who you think should be winning player of the season, young player of the season, signing of the season. And we will be awarding those awards in just a few minutes' time. As you can see the table there, Norwich will face Blackburn. We will face Watford in a double header. It's going to be tough, man. Going to be very tough. Luton and Sunderland both lost, I believe, actually. They really dropped the ball in the last couple of games. Leeds with 98 points. What a season they had. Leicester going up automatically with them. But we will face Watford, a team that we actually haven't beaten yet this season. I think we've played them 3 times. Drawn twice and got battered in the FA Cup. Down the bottom, we knew Derby and Charlton were relegated, but it was just between Birmingham and Barnsley. Oh my God, and Barnsley did it. Barnsley beat Charlton on the final day, whilst Birmingham lost to Preston. And Barnsley leapfrog Birmingham and stay up on goal difference. Wow, that is crazy. Birmingham, just like real life, going down to League One. They're going to be playing League One football next season. And now we look at the player stats with the season done. And somehow, Paul Mullin has, shared a golden boot with 5 players. I don't know what happened because Mayenda was 1 goal behind him and Mullin missed the last 6 games. But then Mayenda missed 7 games. Maybe he got injured. Maybe he got sold. But 5 players share the golden boot. And Mullin keeps up his record of a golden boot in every single season. That's 4 in 4 for Paul. 22 goals. They definitely dried up a little bit, but still enough to win the golden boot. And then look at that. The top 3 assisters in the league. 4 of the top 5. Bennett wins it with 17. Devine with 16. Yuri from right back with 14. And Paul Mullin with 10. That is just, honestly, that's what we asked for this season. the first 3 seasons we relied on Mullin. As we see Sam Johnston, 10 clean sheets in 30, one in every three. Sam was brilliant when we brought him in. Angus Gunn picks up the Golden Glove with 13. Only 3 more in 12 more games. But Sam Johnston, brilliant to see, 10 in 30. So now it is time to move on to player awards. And you guys got your votes in. Honestly, I really love that we introduced comments voting for players. And I love that we do this now. We're going to do this every season on every FC career mode. So make sure you keep getting your votes in. But the first award goes to Player of the Season. And, well, Alfie Devine got 1 vote, but this man got 3. Yuri Regier. What a debut season it was for him in the Championship. Ian Ritchie actually suggested that we signed Regier back in Season 3. We kept tabs on him, but, we had Christie in the team. But then once Christie retired, I thought, you know what? It's time to bring in Yuri. And what a player he's been. Up 5 ratings to 78 this season. 14 assists, 2 goals, a fantastic debut season. I'll be honest, and I think a few of the comments also agree with this. Rocco Vatter, I think, would have won this award had he not got injured. But unfortunately, that 3-month injury did bring him down. But next up, Young Player of the Season. And, well, this man, he wins it back-to-back. Alfie Devine with 3 votes. Jewison Bennett got 1 vote, which I think is fair. Jewison was fantastic this season. But Alfie picks up the Young Player of the Season for his second consecutive season. 16 goals, 16 assists in the league is just ridiculous. We started him in CDM, pushed him up to Cam, and he flourished, and he led the team. He was absolutely fantastic. Again, you could make a case for him winning Player of the Season, to be honest. He was just unbelievable. And again, it's one of those where if we don't get promoted, he is going to have to be sold, which is such a shame. And then finally, signing of the season, some really good nominations here. 1 vote for Smallbone, 1 vote for Johnston, but Yuri Regier picks up his 2nd award of the night. He wins by 2 votes, as we mentioned before. 14 assists from right back, 2 goals, up 5 ratings, a fantastic debut season. And I can see him being our right back for years to come if we get promoted. If we don't get promoted, he again might be one of the players we have to sell, because 78 rated right back, in the Championship is just not heard of. So congratulations to those boys as we run through the squads now. For me personally, if I was going to give my votes out, I probably would have gone Player of the Season, Alfie. I think Devine was just brilliant. 16 goals, 16 assists is just unbelievable. And I think he really led the team. I would have gone Young Player of the Season. I would have gone Vatter. I think he deserved an award because of his 6-month performance was fantastic. It's just a shame he got injured. And then signing the season was a tough one. Johnston was such a good argument, but I think for me, I would have gone Smallbone because he had such a huge impact in multiple ways. We signed him on a pre-contract. He came in, didn't actually start for the first couple months, but as soon as he came into that CDM role, he was brilliant. Contributed loads with goals and assists from CDM, by the way. And because he dropped into CDM, it allowed Alfie to go into Cam, and Alfie flourished. So I would have gone Smallbone Player of the Season, but all of your awards are absolutely just. As we run through the team here, Wes Fotheringham will be leaving on a free when his contract's up. He was awful, and I'm so glad we brought in Sam Johnston when we did, because he was brilliant. Averaged 1 clean sheet in every 3 games. He really took us to those playoffs. And then a bunch of goalkeepers that are out on loan, by the way. So hopefully some of them will be seeing potentially some game time in the next few years. Luke Chambers made that left back role his this season, replacing Jacob Mendy, who actually ironically made more appearances because Chambers got injured, but up 2 ratings to 73. Josh Earl, when we brought in Jacob Greaves, Earl lost his place in the starting lineup, but actually I gained some respect for Earl again when Greaves got suspended, when Earl had to debutise in centre back or left back. He actually did a decent job. So Josh Earl, definitely a squad player, one for the bench potentially. And then we had Jacob Greaves, 78 rated centre back, a club record signing from Hull. Had a good season, not an incredible season, but had a good solid season. Up 2 ratings to 78, by the way. He is another player that if we don't get promoted, honestly, I fear that if we don't get promoted, this team is going to get ripped apart. And for realism's sake, I'm going to have to do it, but I don't want to do it. I love this team. I want to see this team in the Premier League. So yeah, Greaves partnered with Jarrell Quansah, who's up 2 ratings to 71. I think Jarrell definitely grew into this season. Started off a bit shaky, but yeah, he definitely grew into it and scored in each of the last 3 episodes as well, which is class to see. So yeah, 41 games for Jarrell, 12 clean sheets. Definitely grew into this one. Dexter Riley up 2 ratings. We'll potentially loan him out next season. We've got a bunch of players out on loan. Samuel Mason, I actually recalled him from his loan spell at Bristol City because he wasn't playing. Same with Arthur Bishop. He was at Middlesbrough. They weren't playing, so I tried to put them back out for loan. Didn't happen. Hopefully we can get them out on loan next season. Yuri Regier collected 2 awards in his debut season. Signing of the season and player of the season. Up 5 ratings to 78. 14 assists from left back. For the first couple of years, it was Jacob Mendy providing the assist from left back. And now and Cyrus Christie was sort of the covering right back. Now it's switched. Chambers covers on the left, Yuri attacks on the right. And that, by the way, that's 14 assists without taking corners. What a man he is. Great signing, Ian. I really appreciate the shout for him. Some more players out on loan. Mason Guest, I'll probably have to loan him out. I'm not really sure what he can offer the team. Dexter Nicholson went up 8 ratings to 61. That's pretty decent. George Evans, as we know, will be heading to Italy to join Pisa when the transfer window opens. A club legend, held that CDM role down for the first couple of seasons. Got an assist in that final game. In the second to last game against Stoke, which was cool to see. Hopefully he'll get maybe some minutes in the final game at home against Watford in the playoffs so he can get a standing ovation. Which would be really nice to see. It'd be nice to see if FC sort of acknowledged that in future games, when players are leaving, if they got standing ovations from the crowd in their final game. Ismaila Koulibaly, another solid season for the CDM. The Mali international went up 1 rating to 74. Even chipped in with a couple of goals and a couple of assists. Dexter Heath, now this kid looks like the real deal. Sent him out on loan to Hull, and he's gone up 6 ratings to 69. I think he is going to be class in the future. Keshi Anderson, brought him in, didn't really do too much. I'll probably release him at the end of the season, but of course we have still got a couple games left. Lewis Dobbin actually impressed me. 5 appearances, 1 goal, 2 assists. 24 rated and can play up front. So we had to give Dobbin a 2-year contract anyway, but Dobbin might actually stick around the team. It might be a blessing in disguise that we brought him in from the free agency market. James Milner, as we know, retiring at the end of the season, now 41 years old. A real legend of the game, one for the history books. But will he have a big role to play in these final 2 or hopefully 3 games for the club? James Milner, yeah, what a man. 72 rated. 41 years old, what a man. Will Smallbone, for me, was the signing of the season. 74 rated, didn't move up or down, but was just brilliant. He'll miss the next couple of months with a broken toe. 7 goals and 6 assists from CDM. Was really impressed with him. I just think he's a class act and a really, really shrewd signing for free from Southampton. So yeah, we can't wait to have you back from injury, mate, and you'll be a big part of this team next season. Alfie Devine up 5 ratings to 79. This kid is special. Our highest valued player in the club. I think he's worth about 35 million. I mean, what was it? 16 goals, 16 assists in the league. That is disgusting numbers. Averaged a 7.65 rating. Got 2 goals in his 1 FA Cup appearance as well. This kid is special, man. I'm so glad we brought him into the team, and I really hope we get promoted just because I want to see this kid thrive in the Premier League in a Wrexham shirt. Yeah, as you can see there, his value up 233% to 30 million. That is disgusting. No doubt the bids are going to be coming in for him in the summer, regardless if we go up or not. If we go up, he's not going anywhere. I will not be selling any of my key players, probably. Elliot Lee, up 1 rate, somehow up 1 rating actually, made 21 appearances this season, no goals or assists. Obviously, a lot of those appearances were off the bench. A club legend, and he's got a year left on his contract, so we'll probably see that out. Alex Lowry up 2 ratings again, did really well when Vata went out injured. Debutised in at right wing for him, 10 goals, 7 assists. I really like Alex Lowry. He started in the cam role in the start of the season, lost it to Devine, and then was a bench player, but never complained. And honestly, a really, really good squad player. Alex always delivers when he has to fill in for those notorious injuries. Then a few more loan players that have gone up. Patrick Armstrong up to 70 rated, by the way. He could be someone that we bring into the team next season. I think he's got a 2-year loan deal with Peterborough, though. Jewison Bennett, a couple of you thought he maybe should have won some of the awards. Didn't in the end, but a very good season from him. 11 goals, 17 assists, double figures in both from Jewison, up 1 rating to 77, still only 22 years old as well. Really glad that Jewison started picking up his numbers this season, because last season he was good, but his numbers weren't great. This season, I think they really represented him. A few more of the youngsters. We have quite a lot of youth players in this team. I actually might end up selling a few of the youngsters just because they probably all won't get into the team. Rocco Vata up 2 ratings to 77. Probably would have won player of the season was it not for that broken toe. A real shame. Now back in the team, obviously after injury, set up Aubameyang for the equaliser against Cardiff in the final game of the season. This kid was class. He was matching Paul Mullen's goal scoring record in the first few months of the season, which was amazing to see. Double figures in goals in the league. Only worth 12 million, which is a bit questionable. But yeah, Rocco, a big player for us in the future. Elliot Cox, 26 appearances, 3 assists, all coming in the Carabao Cup. We'll probably look to loan him out next season and get some game time. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. I mean, what a player. What a player. Player for the history books. He'll probably be retiring at the end of this season. 37 years old. 6 league games we brought him in for, and he scores 7 goals. What a man. What a man Pierre-Emerick is, and hopefully he's got a big role to play in these playoffs. Cauley Woodrow we brought in as a backup to Paul Mullen. His contract runs out at the end of the season. We'll be letting him go. 14 games, just the 1 goal in the Carabao Cup. Paul Mullen, once again, a golden boot, 4th in a row. I can't believe he won a golden boot this year, to be fair. Shared it with 4 other players, sorry. 22 league goals, 10 assists, double figures in both yet again. 32 years old now, Paul Mullen. But if we get promoted, best believe he is going to be leading our line in the Premier League. He's deserved it. He's a club legend, and he is the club captain as well. We love you, Paul. Get back to full fitness. Connor Mills only up 2 ratings at Swansea. Didn't play too much as we look at some of the stats now. Mullen winning Golden Boot and the most goals in the club, although Alfie Devine was only 4 behind in that cam role. Rocco Vata, 16 goals in just 32 games. He was really up to pace. But as we mentioned earlier in this season, the big thing for us that I wanted this season was contribution across the board. And in the first 3 years, it was very much the Paul Mullen show. He led the team in goals, maybe even in assists. He was just the main man. But if you look at the stats there, 5 players with double-digit goals is brilliant to see. 4 players with double-digit assists. Bennett, 29 goal contributions. Alfie Devine, 36 goal contributions. Regier, 16 goal contributions. Mullen, 33 goal contributions. Vata, 24. Lowry, 19. Smallbone, 15. This was very much a team effort this season. Everyone in that front line and midfield contributed massively to this team's rise into the playoffs this season. So hopefully now we can get the job done in the playoffs, but it is not going to be easy. As we look at some of the player values there, Devine almost triple the worth the next player, which is Yuri, and Jacob Greaves, both worth 12.5. Alfie Devine worth 30 million. The thing is, if we don't get promoted and we have to sell our key players, we will make good money and we will have good money to invest in the squad. But I don't want that to happen. I want to keep these players. I love this team, man. I want to see this team in the Premier League. Sorry. As we see there, a couple players will be heading out, will be leaving on a free when their contract run out. A couple players already signing pre-contracts. Well, that will be it for today's episode 69. What a huge episode it was. Episode 70. We've got one more, guys. One more episode. A double header against Watford in the playoffs. A team we haven't beaten yet this season. And then hopefully, fingers crossed, a 3rd trip to Wembley. If you think we can do it, drop a like on this video right now. Sub to the channel if you haven't already. We've got the biggest episode coming up in this club's history coming up hopefully in just a few days time. So make sure you keep eyes on the channel for that one. And I'll see you in episode 70 very soon.